Elasticity. Now this is a bit of a heavy concept and it involves some math, so we're going to slow this one down considerably. Don't worry, we have a kitten. In supply and demand, we usually draw the curves as an X, mostly for convenience. But a lot of times the supply and demand curves are not at a perfect 90-degree angle. The willingness to buy and the willingness to sell can be changed by many factors. Elasticity is basically how supply affects demand, how demand affects supply, and a measure of responsiveness within the price structure. Now, there's a scary sounding term that you need to know, and it's price elasticity of demand. It also has something of a scary sounding definition combined with a scary looking formula, but basically it means that when there's a change in price, there's going to be a change in demand, which we already knew, and if you figure out what the percentage change in price is and set it side by side with the percentage change in demand, you can figure out whether an item has an elasticity of demand. So I sell donuts. I raise the price of my donuts 10%, so in this example, the percent change would be 10. And because of this, the sales of donuts dropped 15%, so the change in sales would be 15. The way that you can tell whether an item has price elasticity is whether, after you do the math, the number is greater than or less than the number 1. Now, because we are doing short division, at this particular point, we don't care about negative and positive. Elasticity of demand is when a change in price has a great effect over the quantity of demand. So, the elasticity of demand, the change in quantity demanded divided by the change in price. I changed my price on the bottom 10%, and my sales, the demand, dropped 15%. So I find that after I do the math, my number is greater than 1. That means that this product is elastic. Donuts are very responsive to changes in price. They're a luxury item. The demand curve for luxury items, for elastic items, would be more flat. The greater the flatness, the greater the elasticity of an item. So when you see that there's a very small increase in price and a very substantial decrease in quantity demanded, you'll know that that item is a very elastic item. These are luxury items, cruises and cars and stuff like that. Now it can work the other way too. If I lower my prices a little bit, I can predict that I'm going to sell a whole lot more product. Inelasticity of demand is when the change in price has little or no effect on the quantity demanded. Now, I sell salt because I know that people need salt, and salt's one of those things that's a main ingredient in cooking and in seasoning. I figure I can make a little extra profit, so I'm going to raise the price of my salt by 10%. People see the increase in price, grumble about the economy, blame Rona, and then they buy the salt anyway. So I see that only 3% of the people who used to buy my salt are now not buying my salt. So, again, what's the percentage change in price and what's the percentage change in quantity demanded? The price elasticity for this item, after I do the math, is less than 1. That means that this item is inelastic. People will be nearly as willing to buy this good or service at a higher price as they will be willing to buy it at a lower price. The demand curve is also going to be more vertical. The greater the vertical, the lower the elasticity of an item. If there's a substantial price increase, there's going to be a minimum quantity decrease. Again, this can work in the opposite direction. Here are some examples of elastic and inelastic goods. You'll see that the goods on the top that are elastic are, for the most part, luxury items. The examples of inelastic goods are, for the most part, necessities. Now, it could be argued that cigarettes are not a necessity, but you try telling a smoker that. Some of the things that affect elasticity of demand versus inelasticity of demand are available substitutes. Can I get Coke rather than Pepsi? Cupcakes rather than donuts? What's the percentage of budget involved? Is it an increase in pennies or is it an increase in dollars? And the time. What's my time frame to learn about this product, avoid impulse buying? Brand loyalty. I'm going to buy this brand because I've always bought this brand. I don't care if they raise their prices.